Hi there, I'm welcome to my review for Mirai, or Mirai, however you pronounce it. A new film coming out of Japan, a new anime film, and then a film that's received a fair amount of buzz. It's playing at a few festivals. It's the first anime film to premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, I believe. I might be wrong on that. It's coming out in cinema. It's a fairly big deal for this kind of film. It's not based on a manga or a series or from Studio Ghibli. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. The same director made Wolf Children, which I think is one of the most profound and emotional films about parenthood ever made. And so this film, which starts off to be about the same topics, parenthood, really falls short in a lot of ways. It's nowhere near as moving or as transcendent or as heartbreaking as that film is. Instead, Mirai is kind of a weird, repetitive cycle of things that kind of falls into nothing too deep. There's moments that are transcendent, and moments where we see the little moments in life and we see the little things that define us, and those moments are really emotional. And this is definitely a film which will make you a little teary-eyed. It's certainly a film which knows how to make people emotional. I think most people in my screening felt a little bit like emotional by the end of the film. I certainly did. And that is its strength in a sense. But unfortunately, it saddles itself with this really repetitive structure. It has this whole thing about this young kid who's the main character who's really loud and really bratty. So to some extent you need to have a tolerance too for sitting with a movie with a really loud and bratty kid for an hour and a half, because wow, he is bratty and he never stops. And so you sit there and he's whatever. And the point is that he keeps on meeting people from his past and his future in all sorts of weird ways, and it kind of just helps him learn and become who he is. Unfortunately, every time he learns something, within like 3 scenes or whatever, he's back to being the same bratty kid he was before. So he really doesn't learn much throughout the entire film, despite the fact that nominally it is about him learning things, but not really. The characters are a mixed bag. I think some of the characters are really great. I think the particular standouts to me was the mother character, who I was really invested in her little side of the story, and I also really liked whenever we saw the future Mirai character enter the picture, because she was interesting and lively and she brought something different. I liked her relationship with her older brother who's currently younger than her. That was an interesting side thing. In fact, the way the film uses time travel in general is pretty good. I like the way that the film would move through space, but that same movement would also take the film through time. And there's other little things here and there which are nice little techniques. I will say this, so the animation is not outstanding. There's nothing here that's memorable or noteworthy. It's very generically put together and just sort of put together as well as I would expect an anime to be put together. It doesn't blow my mind or anything. Mirai also has very little in terms of meaningful ideas to grip onto. The most interesting sides of the story to me were the parent side, with their discussions on whether or not they're a good parent. How do you know if you're a good parent? How do you know if you're raising your children correctly? And those struggles and fears are something that I think are far more fascinating than the children's problems in this film. And the film mostly focuses on the children's problems. They're not bad per se, but they're not as interesting. And so this is kind of where the film ends up. It ends up being nice ideas on the sidelines, the main thing's kind of repetitive, but on the sides it's really good. It doesn't particularly stand out, but if you want a nice, pleasant anime, this is the exact sort of thing you should check out. It's fine, it's absolutely passable, it more than serves its purpose, it definitely works on an emotional level, even if it doesn't in any way excel. And so, overall, I think this is an okay film, and I would say if you're a fan of this kind of film, check it out. Otherwise, it's probably something you can skip. It's not likely to be among the best animated films of this year by any stretch. So, that's what I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've seen this film, so please leave me a comment. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to read more of my reviews, you can follow me on Letterboxd or Twitter. If you want to watch more of my reviews, you can subscribe. Thank you for watching, and Mirai, it's an okay film.